Good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
Everybody's a suspect!
Honey, you got real ugly.
Don't fuck with the Chuck!
Welcome back to Toe Tag Reviews. I'm your host, Chuck, and today we're going to be talking about Hard Eyes. It was directed by Josh Rubin and made $33 million. Now, before we get started, I will be going over 7 key talking points for this film. That being said, I need you to make sure that the bell notification is on and that you are subscribed to the channel. Now, enough chit-chat, let's get started, shall we? First up, we got the facts. The Hard Eyes mask was created by Tony Gardner, who's a special effects artist. He also created the mask for Freaky, Totally Killer, and Happy Death Day, which they all have a very similar feel to them, and I like it. They're big, they're clunky, they're kind of out of place. They're not very scary, but they're just something unique about them. I don't know, I like it. Director Josh Rubin makes a surprise cameo in the film. He's the guy at the end of the movie yelling for somebody to call 911 at the drive-in. Now, I love a good cameo, especially when directors have them. Like, it just shows that they're involved with their craft, and I love it. I respect it. And lastly, a sequel is already in the works with Josh Rubin set to return and direct the project. So yes, we are getting a sequel, and I'm not upset about it, but I am genuinely curious as for the approach. Nonetheless, should be interesting though. Next up, we got the plot. Allie and Jay are pursued on Valentine's Day by a masked serial killer who mistakes them for a couple. The duo must survive the night while dealing with their chemistry and a killer who targets lovers. Now, as you can tell from the plot, very straightforward, very simple, nothing complicated about this movie. And right there's already a win. To make it even better, I'm also a sucker for holiday-themed horror movies. They're always a blast from start to finish, and they're never meant to be taken seriously. They're just there to have fun. Next up, we got the characters. Allie is played by Olivia Holt, and she's on the brink of losing her job for a failed romance campaign. She uses her recent breakup as inspiration, and we see how quickly it backfires on her. So her boss brings in Jay, who's a freelancer, and yep, you guessed it, he's the main love interest in the movie, which totally love it. I love their chemistry, totally ship them. Since her breakup, she puts up this wall, and it's one of those situations where the more she pushes him away, the more he gets pulled in. I really like that contrast and dynamic between them. It makes it very fun and interesting. Jay is played by Mason Gooding, and he comes in to land the plane since the campaign was a total disaster. He's a handsome, old school romantic, and when he starts getting feelings for Allie, she shuts that shit down real quick. But like I said, the more she pushes him away, the more he gets pulled in. They do have a sweet scene towards the third act of the film where they have a heart-to-heart and explain why they are the way that they are. Detective Shaw is played by Jordana Brewster, and honestly, her character is just kind of there. And the fact that she's one of the Hard Eyes killers is kind of disappointing. To be honest, the two killers, her and Dave, are very uninteresting. We see Dave for one scene, and he's doing IT work at the police station, and that scene's about, what, 10 seconds long? Their motive is that they have a fetish for killing people, which, like, yeah, it's not the most creative, but at the same time, hasn't really been done that much, so, like, I'm indifferent about it. And while we're on the topic of the Hard Eyes killers, how is it the one who we don't see is the most interesting? Eli, who's part of this throuple with Shaw and Dave, and, like, I don't know, I've really enjoyed this movie, but the third act was just really underwhelming. I personally feel like the Hard Eyes killers should be Eli and left it at that. But on the bright side, Allie and Jay end up together. Next up, we got the kills. Now, while there are plenty of kills to go off of, I'm gonna have to give the VHS rewind to the hippies in the van.
Clear. Clear.
Not only is it the most graphic, in my opinion, but we also get 2 kills in a very creative way back to back. So it's pretty satisfying, and the practical effects are incredible here. An honorable mention would have to go to Detective Shaw. The fact she gets decapitated in a slow and gruesome way is just, it's fantastic. But the hippies just etch it out a little bit because it has a really cool remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre style shot. going through the head. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. Next up, we got the scare factor. Since this movie is a horror comedy by default, it's kind of hard for it to be scary. Now, depending if you don't like blood or if you're squeamish, then there's going to be some moments that aren't meant for you. But like I said, it's hard to be scary because when stuff starts to happen and you have those really intense scenes, typically there's a comedic bit to lighten the mood or lighten the scene. And I mean, yeah, there are some scenes where I would like it to be more intense and stay intense. We all have our preferences, you know? Overall, it's still a pretty well-balanced film. Next up, we got the replay value. Endless, come on. I mean, have you seen this movie? It pays homage to a lot of your typical romantic comedies and your obvious character tropes. But I will say this, if you aren't into slashers, then yeah, I can see why you might not be a fan. Me personally, I'm a sucker for slashers, let alone holiday slashers. Halloween, My Bloody Valentine, Hard Eyes, Black Christmas. I mean, I can keep going, but I think you guys get the point. They're just super entertaining and fun from start to finish, like I said before. They're always just a good time. And lastly, we have the toe tag score. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I really love this movie, but like I said, the third act just felt very flat and really lackluster. I think once they killed Eli, it should have been over with because it would have been more realistic to a degree because they wouldn't have any tie to the protagonists whatsoever. It would have just been a random Joe Schmo killing. There's no tie to him. So like, I think that's how the movie personally should have ended. And then what we do get is a crappy thruple, and I don't know, Dave is literally just a background character, and like yet he's the big baddie, so it just felt a little muddy. But nonetheless, it's a super good film, and I'm super stoked that we're getting a sequel. I also love that the movie ends with You Can't Hurry Love by the Supremes. Good music in movies just elevates it that much more, in my opinion. All right, guys, this has been my review for Hard Eyes. What'd you think of the film? Were you a fan of it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'm Chuck. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Until then, see you later.